So I'm sorry if my camera's a little crooked, but I just went to Jamba Juice. But I got the strawberry like bowl, and I got the razzmatazz smoothie. So really good. But yeah, I think we're kind of just gonna vlog today. I think I'm just gonna vlog today. I went on a walk this morning. Well, I woke up at 8. My dog was being really annoying last night, so I did not sleep very well. But I woke up at 8. And then got up at like 8:45, I think. And left my house around like 9 or so and went on a walk. Like around my neighborhood and like the street, like out of my neighborhood. That was nice. It was really nice outside this morning. It wasn't raining. It's been raining like the past few days. So you can see it's like blue skies. But it was really nice. It was like 56 degrees outside. Yeah, this is the first thing I'm eating today, so I'm like starving. It's like 11 o'clock right now. I'm gonna drive home now. Okay, hello. If you can hear my cat, ignore that. He's eating his food right now, so. And if you can hear my dog, ignore that as well. It is currently like 8:30 at night. And I'm getting ready for bed. Sorry, I like broke my nail earlier, so I'm trying to like file it down so it's not just like sharp. Anyways, currently getting ready for bed, like I said. And I just kind of wanted to like pop in. I feel like this is a very like boring vlog right now. Hold on, using my retinol serum. But I feel like so far this is like a very boring vlog because I literally like haven't done anything today. I was like debating on whether or not I was just gonna like stop filming this video and just like trash the whole thing, but then I wouldn't have anything to post tomorrow because it's December. It's February 25th, so I need something to post tomorrow. Right now I don't have anything, so, but I do want to, we're just going to talk about a few little life updates. I don't know why I said it like that. We're going to talk about a couple little life updates. So first, I want to say that I most likely will not be posting a February wrap up and like a March TBR video. I love watching those videos and I love making them. Like I love recapping books and like being like, oh, these are the books that like I want to read in March. And like if you guys really want me to do one, I'll post one. But I like hate the pressure of like telling you guys like, oh, I'm gonna read these books and I'll let you know how they are. And then people being like, oh my god, I'm so excited for you to read them. And then I don't read it because I just don't get to it. Or I don't feel like reading it and choose to read something else. Like this year so far has just been a bad reading month. Like for some reason, I just like I'm having a hard time like getting into books, and I've been in like the biggest reading slump ever. Like this month, I finished Terms and Conditions and that's it. That's the only book I've read. I finished Terms and Conditions and I started The Final Offer. I'm about, I don't know, maybe like 30 pages in. You know, I can't get into Callahan's story. Like, I'm sure it gets really good, but it's just like, it's kind of written differently than the first two. And it's like, it's so hard for me to get into it and like get into his story and like his character and just like his situation and the way that it is between him versus the other two brothers is so different. And like the first two brothers, like their first brother, Rowan, he met somebody like completely new and like fell in love, and you follow them through their relationship. Declan, he already knew this person, but it's like it was kind of like a fake dating thing in the beginning. And so you got to watch them like evolve and like their like relationship become real, and then like, you know, actually realize that they have feelings for each other, and like all like the conflict and everything. Whereas this one, like, it's his ex. Like, they already have history and things have already happened between them, and they don't like each other. And it's like, you know, sometimes I love a good like enemies to lovers. I say enemies loosely because I don't think any book has really do enemies to lovers. Fantasy does enemies to lovers really, really, really well, but I think these are kind of just like miscommunications to lovers. But I don't know, these two, like Callahan and Elena, actually feel like enemies. Like, she really does not like him, and I can't really tell how he feels about her. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I can't get into it. The storyline is just, it's just not adding up. It's just not making sense to me. And I'm just hardcore struggling to get into it. So I started Mary Jane. That's what I was reading earlier in the car. I think I'm only like 10% in. I'm not very far, but so far I really like it. I was gonna read this like more in the summer because I'm on page 31 and I'm 10% in. I was gonna read it like in the summer, like the spring, because that's kind of like the vibe it gives off. It doesn't really give off like, you know, like February, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I just want to mood read. I would rather just like mood read and read what I want when I want, and not feel like I'm like not forced, but almost like kind of forced to read books that I'm just like not in the mood for, because I said that I was going to read them in my TBR video. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I do have like a couple of video ideas for the future. I kind of want to do like a rereading like my 5-star reads and see if they're still like 5 stars. I saw Destiny do this. She posted it 2 days ago, and honestly I feel like that was actually like a really good idea, and I kind of actually really love that, because I was thinking about it. It's like, she read the Unhoneymooners, and that was the first book like I read, and the first book that like actually really like got me into reading. And so I want to reread that one and see if it's actually still 5 stars, and go back to my like the bottom of my Goodreads and see when I first started reading. I think we'll probably end up doing It Happened One Summer, the Unhoneymooners. We'll see what else. But I also want to do like a rereading my like lowest rated books and see if I feel differently about them now than I did before, because I never actually, I have the book People We Meet on Vacation, didn't finish it, or I read it and I hated it and I skimmed through most of it, did not like it for some reason, but I kind of want to reread it and see if it would like intrigue me now. I read like 24 pages maybe of The Hating Game and hated it, didn't finish reading it. So I want to like reread some of those books. And I haven't made a lot of reading vlogs recently. I've just like I said, been having a hard time with books that I like don't know. I don't really know what to do at this point. So we're trying here. We're pushing through, because eventually I'll get out of this reading slump. And it's not like I don't love reading. I just like am sitting down and I'm like, I'm bored. Like, what do I want to do? And it used to be like, oh, I'm just gonna read. Or it used to never be to the point where like, oh, I'm bored, what am I gonna do? Because I was always just reading and I loved reading. And now like, I still love reading. I just like, it's not something I like gravitate to, and like I'm like looking at my bookshelves and like nothing sounds interesting and I like don't want to read anything, and there's all these books that I want to read but like don't have the motivation more or less to read. So we're getting through it, but needless to say, most likely not posting a February wrap-up or March TBR video, but I will talk about the book that I read in February. I only read one. It was Terms and Conditions. I rated it 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I love Declan and Iris' story. Would 1000% recommend that book. Literally loved it. So there's that. There's your little wrap up. I'm sorry. That's the best I gave you. Let's see what else. There was another one. Oh, I also wanted to go into a little bit more in depth of what I said last video when I was all like, oh yeah, like I go to physical therapy for my knee because I got knee surgery. I didn't really explain that. I ended up getting a comment about it and I was like, oh my god, I literally didn't explain anything. I literally just said I got knee surgery. So I did competitive gymnastics basically my whole entire life. I've done gymnastics, or did gymnastics, ever since I was 2, or right before I turned 2, and now I'm 18 years old. I have not done gym for almost a year now because I graduated high school last May. So like basically when you graduate, you're done with your sport unless you have a scholarship, which obviously I did not have a scholarship. So in November 2021, I was at practice and it was my first event. We were on beam. I dismounted off the beam weird, landed completely wrong, hyperextended both my knees, but my left one got the worst of it, and that put me out until March. And that whole time I started physical therapy in December of 2021, and went back to gym in January. That was like the first time I kind of went back was in January, and I was only doing like very, very basic stuff. Like I was just doing strength most of the time and like very basic things because obviously like I couldn't do anything else. So yeah, March, I decided to push myself. I decided to say screw it. Like this is literally my last season. I have 3 months until I graduate and I haven't competed at all. I literally have barely been in the gym. And I don't want to look back on this and like regret not trying to at least compete, even if I only competed one event. So I pushed myself for a whole week. Like I basically had like 2 weeks. It was more or less like 6 practices. We had 4 the first week. And then if you have a competition that weekend, you only have practice probably at least twice a week. Unless you're competing on Sunday, then you have 3. So I had 6 practices before my first meet of the season, whereas everybody else had already competed 4 other meets or 4 other like competitions, and that was my first one. And it was like our last like normal one because it's like we have 5 like normal competitions, then you have states, and then you have regionals. So I had this one normal one, and then I had states and regionals. So I was very stressed, needless to say, but I pushed myself and I did it. It was not my best, but I was happy I did it. And then I found out, I went to my doctor again at the end of March because obviously my knee was still bothering me through this whole time. I went to my doctor in the end of March, or a new doctor at the end of March, got another MRI in April, and then I also saw my doctor in April. Like I got it like beginning of April, saw my doctor end of April, and then found out I was getting surgery. So we didn't have time to do it in May, and we wanted for me to be able to walk at my graduation, so we decided to do June. Quick little pop in for me editing this video. I literally forgot to mention that I ended up going to states. I did states in April, and then regionals was the very beginning of May. That was my last time doing gym. I did regionals like the first week of May, and then I have not stepped foot in the gym since then. So just thought I would share that as well because I forgot to mention that. So June 9th, I had knee surgery. I ended up almost tearing my medial meniscus root all the way through. Also have been going to physical therapy like throughout this whole entire time. I didn't go in May because I didn't feel it was necessary, and I completely agree with that decision. So it's like pointless for me to go to physical therapy for a month when we know I was getting surgery in June, and like that whole month would just like been kind of pointless because it's not really gonna get worse from me not going. So had surgery in June. I don't know how many more times I'm gonna say that, but yeah. So my summer ended up being a bust. Originally, if nothing was supposed to be wrong, I would have literally been perfectly fine after the surgery. Like the surgery I got, like, because they don't actually make like a big incision on your knee, it's just like 2 small little incisions. You can most likely like walk right after, or like 2 to 3 days after, unless obviously you have something repaired and something wrong, then you may not do that because it needs time to heal. So I was in a brace for 4 weeks, on crutches for about 2.5. Having the brace on was absolutely awful. I hated it. It was the worst thing in the world because it's like a full like leg brace. It started like right above my knee and it like went down to almost like my freaking ankle. So not fun. For the first about 2 weeks it was straight, like I could barely bend it. Then after that we like, because there's like a lock on it to keep it straight, we unlocked it and then set it to like a certain amount of degrees, like so I could only bend it to like a certain amount and it would like stop me. So that was that. So yeah, July I took it off. And then was kind of just seeing my doctor about like every few weeks from then on, just to kind of see how the incisions were looking and how I was doing like mobility wise and all this stuff. In October, I got another MRI because my knee is still having issues. I got another MRI in October, and from what they can tell, it looks completely normal and there's like nothing wrong, but my knee is literally still in pain almost all the time. So not so fun. And because of it, I literally had to miss out on so many things. Like I missed out on all my summer vacations. Like I had so many plans and I didn't get to do any of them. And then in December, my family was in California, but I didn't go because my knee was really bothering me and my back started hurting. So I was not able to go on that trip either. And yeah, that's kind of where we are now. I just figured I would touch on that a little bit since I didn't say anything about that. I basically just like, oh yeah, I got knee surgery. So there's a little more reasoning, a little bit more, now you know something about me. Literally did gymnastics my whole entire life. Absolutely love the sport, I still do. But yeah, just thought I would share, just have a little conversation. I kind of think that's all I need to update you on. I don't really know what else I was gonna say. But yeah, now you know a little bit more. I don't want to say like, oh, this video is coming out this day and this video is coming out this day, because then if it doesn't happen, like I don't want to feel bad about it. So I don't really know what you guys are getting next week. It could be, rereading my 5-star reads, or it could be like rereading my lowest rated reads or whatever. If you guys have a preference, go ahead and comment down below. If you have any other videos you want to see me do, go ahead and comment that down below as well. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.